Dave Roberts now available. There's questions from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead, Alana.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Lana.
What does it mean for you when you guys lead the league as far as wins are concerned? You have the best run differential. You also have the best ERA and the most home runs. Seems pretty complete to me.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I mean, we're a pretty complete team, and I think it's just all that is just a byproduct of talent and preparation and how we go about it each day. I think the thing I'm probably happiest with, most pleased with, is the way the consistency, the pitching, the run prevention, the defense. I really believe that even early on, I thought the at-bat quality was pretty good and consistent, and the runs have shown that. So I think the consistency is the thing that I'm most proud of.
Did you let anybody come in yesterday?
I
know you flew to San Fran, but
yeah. So some guys, we had that game yesterday. Some guys took some, Lux, and some other pitchers did some things. Some guys got some arm care, body care, but for the most part, guys stayed away, which was good, and got on a flight late, which was nice to just get in, get our food at the hotel, and then kind of get ready for today. So all of us really enjoyed that day off.
I'm not certain that anybody can figure him out because he's been in the league a long time with all of his different deliveries. But the best course of action against Cueto, who has pitched well against you this season?
I think the thing is I know it's easier said than done, is to just get a guy on base. When he's going through his full delivery, there's a lot of deception, timing, that he's just so good with his body balance and awareness. But obviously, when you get him from the stretch, he can't be as deceptive. So I guess at times it's been hard for us to get that guy to first base. But that's probably the biggest way to do it. But once he gets in a rhythm and he's pitching at the hollow of the knee, changing speeds, it's hard to put a barrel on him. So hopefully he's not as good as he was the last time we faced him.
Okay. And Julio, what does he need to do tonight?
Julio's been sort of trying to figure out his delivery, the consistency of the delivery this year. The stuff's been good. The slider's been kind of in and out, fastball command in and out. I think a good place to start is just being aggressive with this stuff. I think that this past week was he had a really good side session with Mark Pryor in his bullpen, so to clean up some things. So I expect, this is the third time he's seen these guys, so there's familiarity there. But I expect him to pitch well tonight.
Thanks, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Next question from Dave Rassay. Go ahead,
Dave. Dave, we haven't seen a lineup yet. Just curious if Justin Turner is in it and how his left hamstring is doing.
Yeah, he's in there. He'll be playing third base. And from everything, I haven't heard anything. So right now, I think no news is good news.
And I'm also wondering whether or not you've had a chance to go out on the field and take a look at the changes they made with the bullpens and what you think about them over there in San Francisco.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna go out there right after this. I haven't seen it, but I've heard some good things about it, with the distance and where the pen is at, not in the field of play, all that stuff. So it's actually a nice day out. There's a little smoke in the air, but it's actually sort of a nice day.
And one other question, as far as one of your players, Joe Kelly, what's his status?
Joe's still, for me, he's still a ways away. He's been playing catch. I don't think he's been off the mound yet. I know he's going through his progressions, obviously not here with us on the road trip. So, I assume he's getting better each day, but there's really no ETA.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Next question from Eric Steven. Go ahead.
Hi, Dave. Alex Wood yesterday in that simulated, or I guess the taxi squad game at Dodger Stadium, he he left like in the third inning. Did he pitch an extra inning in the bullpen, or what was his story yesterday?
So he was scheduled to throw 2 innings, and he felt good enough to go out there and get up a third time and go out there and throw, parts of a third inning. So I think it was positive. I don't want to say overwhelmingly positive as far as how Alex came out of it. I haven't heard anything as far as how he feels today. So I honestly, right now, I don't think we know the next steps. It's more of him getting with the trainers and the pitching guys and figuring out what's the next course of action for Woody.
So last week, or I guess the last couple weeks, the way we were talking about it was you might have wanted him to have a 4-inning simulated outing before activating him. So it sounds like he's kind of not there yet.
Yeah, he's not there yet. And, when I talked about that last week, the hope was potentially to get him back activated this weekend in Texas. But obviously he's not here, so that's not to be. So right now where we're at, I just don't know when, his activation or his role might be with us.
But in terms of health-wise, nothing new popping up yet?
No, nothing new. We were just hoping, and I know Alex was hoping to come out of it feeling strength and feeling really good in his delivery. But I think that right now, coming out of it, felt good, but not great about kind of all things we talked about.
Another thing yesterday, bruised our Graterol. It seemed like Josh Bard was working on him when he was pitching. Was there anything particular he was working on, or was that just like an extra session? Just
an exercise session, just to kind of see some hitters and some things versus left versus right that we want Bruiser to kind of go through and not have to do it in a game where statistics and the game matters. I kind of liken it to what we did with Max Muncy, seeing a live arm and you're working on some things mechanically. But you don't have to worry about playing in a game where I think for Bruce Dart, just kind of pitch development, sequencing, that kind of thing.
And then one more thing, who's on your taxi squad for this trip?
We got a big one. We've got Mitchell White. We got Sporzy. We've got Rocky Gale. We've got Gonsolin, and we've got Lux.
Thanks.
You got it.
Next question from Howard Castillo. Go ahead.
Hi, Dave.
All right.
That taxi squad, you can have more than 3 players on it? I
think you can have 5. Yeah. I think there was 3, and then they changed it, I think, over the last week or something, a week or 2 weeks, and they expanded it to 5 weeks.
Oh, okay.
I think it was after the outbreaks, the spikes and the coronavirus.
Okay, got it. You mentioned Lux is in there. 2 home runs yesterday. How did he look to you?
Really good. Obviously he's facing a good arm in Tony and hitting a homer off the fastball and one off the changeup. So Gavin is and has been in a good place. So, is being recalled seems like it's a very good possibility at some point.
And that group is going with you guys at Texas as well?
Correct.
Okay. And you mentioned Julio's delivery. Last year he was exclusively out of the stretch. Is that a possibility for him going back to something like that? Or
it is, but I think that right now we feel good about him going through his full delivery. But yeah, the stretch simplifies things, and he will be at some point tonight. But I think that as far as cleaning up the windup is something that Mark and him feel good about.
And I know this is really looking forward, but the season ended today. The Giants are the team you'd be facing in the first round of this weird playoff format. Just wondering, it might be an outlandish question, but does that impact how you guys approach this series at all, knowing this is a team you could play in a month when things matter?
Not at all. These guys, we played them 7 times already. I expect to win, but I don't think that there's any kind of hidden things or things we want to keep from them for fear of seeing them in the postseason.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dave, I know that you have talked about it for individual games, but the good base running over the past weeks has been consistent, and it all seems to start with Mookie. What has he brought to the club as far as good decisions on the bases?
I think the thing with Mookie is to be a good base runner, you have to have anticipation. And I think that, you know, once you're on the bases, you're not thinking about hitting, defense, you know, anything else outside of how can I get to the next base or potentially score a run. And so his anticipation for what might happen is elite. And a lot of our guys are feeding off that smart, aggressive base running.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.